here we go. Here we go. We got our basic 8.5 by 11 document open. It's 300 pixels per inch. So now I'll just show you some of these basic tools, kind of how to use them, what they do, kind of the tools that we will be using most often. So let's just start over here with some of these ones on the left of the screen. Okay. So let's just start here with our brush tool. Okay. This is going to be the most common tool we use for drawing and coloring in different things. Okay. So if you switch here, and it's good to also learn these keyboard shortcuts. So the shortcut there is B for that. So all you have to do is click and drag, and you start to draw there. Okay. I'm just doing this with my mouse for now. We'll go over the specifics of how to use this with a tablet later on, but I just kind of want to show you what these tools do and how to adjust them a little bit. Okay. So when you select this, you get a bunch of different options here at the top. So if you look here along the top, this is different depending on what tool I have selected. Okay. So when I switch to my brush tool again, B, I get options up here. So a few different things. So opacity, that is just how transparent your brush is. So if you see here, I adjust that opacity down to 40%. And then I can build it up and get it darker that way. Okay, flow is a similar thing. It just kind of lets less color out. And but I don't usually adjust the flow too often, just the opacity. Smoothing can also give you a smoother stroke, but as you see, it kind of causes it to lag a little bit. So again, I don't usually mess with that too often. And here, if you click this section, you can get a whole bunch of different brushes. I have a bunch in here that I've downloaded. I will show you guys how to get some of those later on. But yours probably just look like these simple ones along the top. Kind of just the ones that come with the program. So this hard round pressure size is a good one when you get hooked up with your tablet because that allows the pressure sensitivity to take over. Okay. So that's that tool, brush tool there. Another common tool is our selection tool. So this is called the rectangular marquee tool. And this just allows you to draw a shape here. And then I can fill in this shape with a specific color. Okay, so I can switch back to my brush tool. And to make it bigger, how do you make it bigger? Oh, right here. Here's your size. I usually use a keyboard shortcut for size. If I hold down Control and Option on my Mac, I can drag left and drag right to get it larger or smaller. I'll have to look up what it is on a Windows, but for Mac, it's Control and Option, then drag left or drag right. And now, as I paint with this, because I made that selection with that marquee tool, I can color right in that box. And to get rid of these little dotted lines, which is the selection area, you hit Command D, which is deselect. Okay. So now I have those two perfectly drawn squares. There's other shapes of these. You can do an ellipse. I'm going to just change the color over here too. Switch back to my pen tool. I'm going to turn up this opacity. And then to get rid of that, Command D on Mac or Control D on Windows. Okay, so notice with these selection tools, which box is selected. So here, these different boxes will change how you get selections. So the one on the left, if that one, then that creates a new selection each time. That's not usually what you want. You usually want to be able to add on to your selection. So that means you will have to have this little box called Add to Selection selected when you're using this selection tool. So now I can add to that. So for the most part, just use this one. That's what's going to be most common. And what's nice, if I want to take away a section of this selection I made, like I want to make a little hole in here, I can switch back to my selection tool. See how there's a little plus sign by it? If I want there to be a minus symbol by it, I hold Option, and I believe it is Alt on Windows. Hold that. And now I can switch back to my brush tool and put some white in there. Oops. Well, that's not how that would work, actually. Do this and put that white in there. All right, so that's the basics of the brush tool and the selection tool. I'll show you one more for now. Let's do the crop tool right here. So this one is just used for cropping your photos. So you just click this, and notice when this gets clicked, these little guides appear on the corners and the edges. So I can then just drag this smaller and then hit enter, and it crops my photo down. All right, we'll keep the tools coming for the next video, and you can follow along and just kind of get familiar with these basics of the program.